Hello everyone, welcome to the pre-match first control game between Kerala Blasters SC and FC Goa. We have head coach of Kerala Blasters SC, Mr. Ivan Convesh, and player Rahul KP. I request everyone to put your phone on silent. Also, I request the journalists to ask the question first to the player Rahul KP. The floor is open for questions.
Hi Rahul.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask you, you had a lot of difficult situation to catch up with the team because you had other competitions like AFC and all. But still, you are actually not able to get back into your old form. So, what do you think the reason behind that? You were not able to score this season, but you were not in the first lineup for not many matches, but still, what do you think the reason behind you are not able to score and you are not able to come back to your old form?
Hi. I really don't know for sure why I'm not scoring for sure, but I'm not worried about it. Let me say that because I'm enjoying the process every day. Sometimes, there are so many players who scored in the beginning and they're not scoring now. So it's not about sometimes scoring and everything, but I feel like it's going to come on the way. So I'm every day working hard and I'm making sure in training I give it all. So that's all I can do every day, and I'm doing my best in training and in my mental, physical form. So for me, I feel like that's all it matters, because goals I feel like it's going to come sooner or later, but I cannot be worried about it or create expectations, because that's going to put me more down when you have expectations. So I'm not worried about the destination. I'm really enjoying the journey right now, like every day training and being with my teammates, coaching staff, the journey. So that's the answer for the goals, and I know it's going to come for sure. And also about the form, definitely I know myself, I had a difficult situation this year, but I also had good games. People only look at games when you score, but I don't think that's the only thing, because when you help your team, you defend, you run for the team, that's also something very important. And there are games that I didn't score, but I felt so happy playing for the team. So for me, that's all that it matters. And the rhythm has been really bad. I've never been consistent, that's very true. But every day I live with the hope, and I live with the choice that something's going to change, and someday it's going to change. So if it's going to take 2 years, 3 years, 2 months, I don't know, 5 days, 1 day, I don't mind, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going, and that's all I can do.
One more question. So, do you think the absence of the senior players like Mona and all is affecting you or the team in a bad way? Because not just one player is absent now, like number of players are absent because of injuries. Do you think that affect the team as a player in your perspective as a player?
I think the answer is very simple. It's yes, for sure. Because it's a very real answer for me, because we are missing many important players. On the way, me and coach had some conversation, and from the beginning of the season, we never could play with a strong team, like the most important players. When there is the game happening, some players been going for the national team and some players been missing with injuries. So we never could play with the best team as possible. And for sure that affects us in many ways, because we have to keep on changing the preparation. So many players got injured this season, and very important players who possibly been starting. Luna, Pepra, many players in the beginning, Ivan. There is so many players, even now Sachin. So everything disturbs everyone's preparation. So we have to keep on changing. But we as team players, as teammates and coaching staff, we go with the mindset that we are a team and we have to fight for each other, and that's what we are doing. But for sure, definitely missing players, that affects the team's rhythm and performance, definitely.
I don't know. നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നമുക്ക് ബാക്ക് ടു ബാക്ക് ചില തോൽവികളുണ്ടായി, ഒരുപാട് ഇഞ്ചറീസ് ഉണ്ടായി. അടുത്ത ടീമിൻ്റെ ഒരു മൂഡ് എന്താണ് ഇപ്പോൾ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ രാഹുൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ടീമിനെ മോട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്വയം മോട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെയൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ? സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ആക്ച്വലി
തീർച്ചയായും ഏറ്റവും ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് സിറ്റുവേഷനാണ്. എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നമ്മൾ ഇത്ര കളി ജയിച്ചിട്ട് ആ ഒരു വിധത്തിൽ പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഗെയിം തോൽക്കുമ്പോൾ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി അത് പ്ലെയേഴ്സിനെയും ഫാൻസിനെയും എല്ലാവരും എഫക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു സംഭവമാണ്. ഒരു ടീമും തോൽക്കണത് ഒരു ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന കാര്യമല്ല, എസ്പെഷ്യലി ഇങ്ങനെ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് തോൽക്കുമ്പോൾ. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ ഗെയിമും ഞങ്ങൾ വരുമ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായും പോസിറ്റീവ് മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റിലാണ് വരണേ. കളി ജയിക്കും എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു പ്ലെയറും ഒരു ടീമോ കളിക്കാൻ തോക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി കളിക്കാൻ പോകില്ല തീർച്ചയായും. നമ്മളെപ്പോഴുള്ള ടീം, ഇത്ര സപ്പോർട്ടും ഫാൻസ് ഉള്ളൊരു ടീം. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ ദിവസത്തെ ഒരു പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ട്രെയിനിങ്ങിൽ ബെറ്ററായിട്ട് ചെയ്യുക, പ്ലേയേഴ്സായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുക, എല്ലാവരും ആ ഒരു വിധത്തിൽ നിൽക്കുക. ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു കാര്യമാണ് തീർച്ചയായും തോൽക്കുമ്പോൾ. പക്ഷേ ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഫുട്ബോളേഴ്സാണ്, ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഡ്രീമാണ്, ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വേറെ ഒന്നും അറിയില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾ എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ജീവിക്കുന്നത് ഇതിനു വേണ്ടിയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എവറി ഡേ ഞങ്ങളൊരു ഹോപ്പ് വെച്ചാണ് ട്രെയിനിങ്ങിന് പോകണത്. പിന്നെ വേറൊരു കാര്യം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ ഇതിൻ്റെ പ്രോസസ്സ് എന്താണെന്ന് അറിയില്ല. എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ ഞങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യണ പോലെ അത്ര എളുപ്പമുള്ള പണിയല്ല. എല്ലാവർക്കും കാണുമ്പോൾ എല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്, പക്ഷേ അതിൻ്റെയുള്ള പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ, ഡിസിപ്ലിൻ, ഇതൊക്കെ ഭയങ്കര ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റാണ്. എല്ലാ ദിവസവും ട്രെയിനിങ്, കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യുക, ഫാമിലി, ഇതൊക്കെ ഞങ്ങൾ മിസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഞങ്ങളതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ എല്ലാ പ്ലേയേഴ്സും ഒരു ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ പോകും. ബട്ട് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു ഹോപ്പിലാണ് ഞങ്ങളെപ്പോഴും ഓരോ ദിവസത്തെ എണീറ്റ് ഒക്കെ ഇന്ന് ബെറ്റർ ആവും എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ്. പിന്നെ ഈ ഒരു പാസ്റ്റ് 2 weeks നന്നായിട്ട് ട്രെയിനിങ് എല്ലാത്തിലും വ്യത്യാസമുണ്ട്. കോച്ച് എല്ലാവരും സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് സംസാരിച്ച് എല്ലാ കാര്യത്തിലും ഭയങ്കര മാറ്റങ്ങളുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ എല്ലാ പ്ലെയറും മോട്ടിവേറ്റഡ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ നാളത്തെ കളിയിൽ തീർച്ചയായും നല്ലൊരു പെർഫോമൻസ് ഉണ്ടാകുമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കും.
Hi coach. ഓക്കെ, രാഹുലിനോട് ചോദിച്ചിട്ട് കൊച്ചിലേക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി രാഹുൽ ഒരു ഗോൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു പ്ലെയറുടെ പൂർണ്ണത തന്നെയാണ്. രാഹുൽ നല്ല സ്ട്രൈക്കറാണ്. പക്ഷേ അൺഫോർച്ചുനേറ്റ്ലി നമ്മളെല്ലാം ആഗ്രഹിച്ച ഗോൾ കുറച്ച് ദിവസങ്ങളായിട്ട് ഒഴിഞ്ഞു നിൽക്കുന്നു. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഏഷ്യൻ കപ്പ് ഫുട്ബോളിൽ ഖത്തറിൽ ഉസ്ബെക്കിസ്ഥാനെതിരായ കളിയിൽ നല്ലൊരു ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ ഭാവം തെറ്റിദ്ധരിച്ചു. കാരണം അതിന് രാജ്യം കാത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഗോളായിരുന്നു. അതിനുശേഷം ISL ആ ഒരു ഗോൾ എന്നൊരു പെർഫെക്ഷനിലേക്ക് എത്താൻ കഴിയാതെ പോകുന്ന കുറേ മത്സരങ്ങൾ. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു സ്ട്രൈക്കർ എന്ന രീതിയിൽ അതിനെ അതിജീവിക്കുന്നത്? അടുത്ത മത്സരങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഒരു സ്ട്രൈക്കർ, ഫിനിഷിംഗ് മികവുള്ള സ്ട്രൈക്കറിലേക്ക് എങ്ങനെയാണ് രാഹുൽ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
അതെന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എനിക്കറിയുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. പക്ഷേ കഴിഞ്ഞ സീസൺ ഞാൻ വറീഡായത് ഞാൻ ഗോളിൻ്റെ ഒരു പൊസിഷനിൽ എത്തിയിരുന്നില്ല. ഈ സീസൺ ഞാൻ ഗോൾ മിസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു 6 ഗോൾ എനിക്ക് പഠിക്കായിരുന്നു, ഓപ്പൺ ചാൻസസ്. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ അതിൽ നിന്ന് എടുക്കുന്ന പൊസിഷൻ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഞാൻ ആ പൊസിഷനിലെത്തി. ഞാനൊരു ഇമ്പ്രൂവ്മെൻറ്റിൽ എടുക്കണം. നമ്മൾ ആ പൊസിഷനിലുള്ള കാര്യമില്ല നമുക്കത് ഫിനിഷ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ചാൻസ് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ കുറേ ക്രിയേഷൻസ് വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആരും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാത്തൊരു കാര്യം തീർച്ചയായും. പക്ഷെ ഞാനത് വെച്ച് പോസിറ്റീവായിട്ട് എടുക്കണം. എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ എനിക്ക് ആ ഗോൾ അടിക്കാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് ഞാൻ എത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇനി എനിക്ക് ഗോൾ അടിച്ചാൽ മാത്രം മതി. എല്ലാം ചില സമയത്ത് നമുക്ക് ഒന്നൊന്നുമില്ല ജീവിതത്തിൽ. അത് ഫുട്ബോളാവാം, എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ആവാം. പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ എല്ലാ ദിവസവും എനിക്കൊരിക്കലും എന്നെ കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്താൻ പറ്റില്ല. വേറെ ആരൊക്കെ കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്തിയാലും എന്താ വെച്ചാൽ ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ കാര്യം ഞാൻ സ്വയം തന്നെ നോക്കണം. ആൾക്കാർക്ക് കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്താൻ എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. പക്ഷേ എൻ്റെ പ്രിപ്പറേഷനും എൻ്റെ ട്രെയിനിങ്, എൻ്റെ മെൻറ്റാലിറ്റിയും ഞാൻ തന്നെ നോക്കണം. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എന്ത് മിസ് ഉണ്ടായാലും അതിന് എന്താ പോസിറ്റീവ് അത് ഞാൻ നോക്കിയെടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ട്രെയിനിങ്ങിൽ അതിനുവേണ്ടിയുള്ള ട്രെയിനിങ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ആണ്. പിന്നെ ഗോളെല്ലാം വരും, അത് ഉറപ്പാണ്. ഞാൻ പോസിറ്റീവാണ്. എനിക്ക് അതിലൊരു വിഷമമോ പേടിയില്ല. പക്ഷേ വീട്ടുകാർക്ക് നല്ല വിഷമമുണ്ട് തീർച്ചയായും ഗോൾ അടിക്കാത്തതിൽ. കുറേ പേരെ കണ്ടുകെട്ടിന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പറയണേ. നമുക്ക് അതിലൊന്നും പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഞാൻ അതിലൊന്നും വിശ്വസിക്കാത്ത ആളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഗോളിനെ പറ്റിയുള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടോ വിഷമമൊന്നും എനിക്കില്ല. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു ചില കളികൾ നമ്മൾ ഗോൾ അടിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ ഭയങ്കര ഹാപ്പിയാണ്. എനിക്ക് ആ ഒരു ഹാപ്പിനെസ് ഉണ്ടായാൽ മതി. പിന്നെ ടീം ജയിച്ചാൽ മതി. ബാക്കി ഗോളെല്ലാം വരും. ചിലപ്പോൾ പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഞാനാവും ഫൈനൽ ഗോൾ അടിച്ച് ടീമിനെ ജയിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ആളും. അപ്പോൾ ഇതുവരെ ഉണ്ടായതെല്ലാം എല്ലാവരും മറക്കും. അതാണ് ഒരു സീസണിൽ ഉണ്ടായത്. കഴിഞ്ഞതിന് മുന്നേ സീസൺ നമ്മൾ ഫൈനൽ സീസൺ. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു ടൈം അതിപ്പോൾ ദിസ് ടു ഷാൽ പാസ്. അത്ര എനിക്ക് പറയാം.
Hi coach.
Hello.
Actually, Blasters conceded 13 goals in the last 5 matches. I think in Super Cup, 3 against Jamshedpur FC and 4 against Northeast United. And after that, 2 against Odisha, 3 against Punjab, and last game 1 against Chennai FC. So how do you evaluate this performance? 5 matches, conceded goal 30. How do you evaluate this type of Blasters defense?
Of course, as a coach, as a team, you're not happy about it, especially because these conceded goals led us to defeats. Of course, you're not happy or disappointed about it, especially losing games. But again, when you see everything what has happened in the previous period, and that actually almost every game we are in a moment of rebuilding something new or trying to get back the time dynamics with one group of players playing together, finding themselves again together on the pitch, getting automatism. But for us, it's the moment from the start of the season, where every time we had to mix and change some things, and again rebuilding the things. Then again, after certain injuries, again putting some players back to the line to play together to find this so-called automatism in a game where they feel comfortable, where we actually, I think in the months of November and December, we connected a couple of games without conceding goals. I think games in Delhi, maybe Mumbai at home or Mumbai away. So, you know, when you find actually these automatism, how to function as a team, but again, when you lose one or two players again, it's again rebuilding from the beginning, that the players have to find again this confidence, playing together, because every player, when you fit back into the team, or the new guy who is coming, who was not playing it before, it's something new, you know, and it needs a couple of, let's say, days or weeks that you found yourself again back on the pitch to rebuild that positive momentum. But you know, the moment we arrive close to that again, we have to change certain things due to injuries, whatever it is, and actually for us it's the story of the season, you know, since we started I think the 4th day of our pre-season with Joshua Sotirio, and after that with, you know, many other players going away for national team, coming back, injuries, players coming late. So, you know, it's always kind of a mess how you want to fit certain things, and the season starts and the competition is there, and you have between these games to fix those things. Hoping, you know, now in our games every day is like, okay, let's hope that we will not lose anyone else, like, you know, let's just hope that everyone stays healthy, alive till the end of the season. Even the other day, because I'm also suffering with some small injury, thinking about going for a surgery after the season, and I said maybe if I'm done with that we, you know, complete the circle, like everybody got surgeries and we can go maybe for the next chapter. But anyway, it's frustrating, you know, it's frustrating because we know that we have that quality to do that. We know that we as a team, we can do that, but sometimes with all these changings that you have to implement, it led you to these moments that you concede those goals, lose games, lose self-confidence maybe in a moment, and you have to continue with a smile, you know, with a positive approach to rebuild that thing and maybe get back in a positive line of winning and back in shape. So.
Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Happy to see you. So I just wanted to ask you, our team is having the most number of injuries, if I'm right. Our team is having the most number of injuries, mainly the main senior players. And also sometimes, not in the main ground, in the training ground also the players are getting injured. So what do you think the reason behind these many injuries? And how do you plan to cover this?
Well, the thing how we can cover this, the only thing is using young players who have to step up and say, okay, this is my moment, this is my chance to, you know, to grow up, to get the playing time in ISL, and to become an important part of my team. Also, it shows them, it gives them great opportunity to become important part of Kerala Blasters, showing to the technical staff, medical staff and the management that they have that needed quality to be important part of ISL. That's a nice thing for them as young players to have that opportunity, you know, because in a life, the things in the football, they happen that maybe you get one chance to prove yourself. If you are lucky in your life, especially in some other levels, let's say maybe back in Europe or something, if you are lucky, you get 2 chances. And sometimes you have to work hard to get that one chance, and that you have to be ready. So for the boys, young boys who are now, who have that space and time due to all these injuries, it's great for them. I'm happy for them to see how they work, how they want to perform, how they want to fight for every minute in a training session as well. Then, about the injuries. So, the other day we were talking with the technical and medical staff. So, now in 2 years, let's say, we will not talk about bubble season because we were all in a Goa situated, and it was quite easy, you know. You go from a hotel to the training ground, you go back, you go to the stadium. No teams were exhausted in a way of being obliged to travel around India, like in the last 2 years. You know, like games where you have to go and change 2 flights, and then you have to arrive. It's exhausted for the body, for players. So in last 2 years, so we were going through all the games. It never happened that our players end up the games in cramps, or in last, let's say, 2 seasons, we cannot even recall when we had like player with muscle injuries. Never. Because I think that medical staff and the technical staff, we cover that on a good way. Players, they feel good. When we see the statistics after the games, how they run, how much they sprint and all these things, it makes us feel good, really. The fact that this year, every time we get injured players, it's immediately ambulance, hospital, surgery. And it makes us like, even sometimes we say, maybe we could get one muscle injury. At least, it's like a couple of weeks. But in our case, since we started with Joshua Sotirio, Achilles tendon, season's done. Then starting the competition, like we just mentioning on the way here, just before the season, we had this, I think, Asian Games or something like that, where actually many teams were refusing to send players because it was not the FIFA or whatever it is. We sent 5 players. Okay. The most important part for every team, pre-season period, where we went to also Duran Cup, which is, in my mind, again, waste of time. So, and in Dubai, we don't have those players. So 5 important players in your team, national team players, they go for national team for a couple of weeks. So they come back, already the season started, 3 games. So you cannot use them. They come back from different rhythm. You have to put them back. We start competition, 3rd game in Mumbai, we lose 2 important players, Ivan and Jigson, on a long term, out. In that game you got suspensions, you try to mix and match. The guys, they come back from national team, you have to put them back in a shape, in a rhythm, to get back that, Then you continue, there is another player like, I don't know who was the next, Freddy maybe, or after that Luna, then you are losing play. And every time it's, hospital. The other day we were laughing, like I think that we have a great discount in hospital in Mumbai. The whole floor is for us, So it's funny, but from one part it's unbelievable, impossible to believe. And then the last, like okay, with Luna, then about Super Cup, it makes you frustrated. The day you have to leave to Super Cup in Bhubaneswar, the day we have to leave, we got a phone call from Odisha saying, sorry, we cannot guarantee you the accommodation for a hotel, we cannot guarantee you for training grounds. So then we're like, where should we go? Okay, let's go to Kolkata. So then in 18 days, you have to fly 10 times back and forth. It's exhausting for players. And we were sitting and thinking, just please don't end, like to try to avoid injuries. Again, you lose players. And with these all things that you cannot control, it makes you frustrated. And every time you lose players, like in the last case, Sachin, Pepra, or whoever it is, and when they call us and say like, look, it's serious, it's surgeries, we are like, even counting Bijoy, who is on loan. So now we have 9 players with, it was with surgeries, with Sandeep last year, like, and then you ask yourself, every time somebody gets injured, it's out till the end of the season. And again, you have to rebuild, you have to mix things again, rebuilding that momentum. So now after January, also 3 players going for national team, for Asian Cup. It's a big tournament. We are proud that we have players who are part of national team. They go there, they spend a couple of weeks, they didn't play a lot or they didn't play at all. And they come back again, out of shape, getting back in a shape, it takes time, and then additional injuries. So we are in a long process of improvisation in a short period. We're actually, losing players, getting some youngsters, getting some new faces, getting Justin back from Gokulam or Fedor. They need to adapt. The other players like Rahul and the others, they have to adapt to them. It's different dynamic, and all these things. Always when we sit together with technical and medical staff, I'm the first one saying, guys, look, with positivity, we continue. We know it's painful, but part of professional sport, we have to deal with it. Of course, we are all sorry and disappointed about injuries, but then sometimes the training grounds where you cannot control, you go like it was the case in Kolkata. You go for Durand Cup, even if you call the football Mecca, you go there, the training conditions are disastrous. You cannot get the training grounds, or you get. And then I remember in Durand Cup, in one game, you get Dimi injured, you get Marco injured, you get Sorav injured, because of these are the conditions, and all these things you have to deal with that, and these are the things that you cannot control. As a coaching staff, it makes you unhappy, but you have to deal with it. This is how it is. So with all these things, now we continue with positivity, now with defeats back to back, but we have to be positive. We have to, stay together, fight together, and try to get as many positive moments and points we can, and to fight every game to give everything we have, especially youngsters who have that chance now. So I hope as a coach that we will get back in a positive line to get points and fight back, show that even with almost the whole squad changed, that we can do it. So let's hope.
Coach, do you think this is the most challenging phase of your time in coaching?
Yeah.
So many injuries.
Yeah, I've never had it. Even as a player, when I was a player, like for 18 long years, I cannot remember that something similar happened to the team where I was. Maybe because the format of the competitions is different. And here on a short term, especially after New Year's, there is no time, there are games. You have to react, you have to play, and then these things happen, especially like we said in January. So just imagine you have to, in 18 days, you have to fly 10 times. You cannot train practically, to prepare for the games. You have to fly between Bhubaneswar and Kolkata, go fly, play, go fly back and everything. So, and it puts you in a rhythm like of 20 days without proper training. And then you are exhausted, you have to play. And as a coach, it's, it's challenging. Always trying to find, how to recover, how not to put them even more in a difficult position where actually you can lose even more players. So it's challenging. But again, with the program, with the fixtures, with the ISL organization, these things you cannot control. You have to adapt. So as a coach, we try to find a way and saying, we will use some youngsters. They will get a chance. Trying to get the players, also senior players who are here to make the difference. Of course, some domestic players who are part of national team, we want them back in a shape, in a good momentum, like they were before New Year's. And as a coach, it's, you deal with the challenges. I never see that as a problem. I see, that's a challenge. Let's try to work on that, try to get maximum out of it. So that's it.
You also said it's a great opportunity for youngsters now. How many of them have really raised the bar or lived up to your expectations?
Every training. I remember 2.5 years since we started. Many of them I remember selecting in a young team, like twin brothers Azar and Ayman, or even Sachin, Vibin, Nihal, who else? Some guys who are on loan, then even Bijoy, Saeed, who are on loan. Yoemba. Many of them, we selected them as a part of B team, pushing through that process, and now after 2 years they became the important part of. And now actually many of them, I remember first couple of games in competition, Bengaluru at home, even the first 4 games I think, many of them they were not even part of a squad on the bench, and many of them they were not. And now you have one good bunch of them like starting 11, and that's how it happens in life. As a young player, you get the chance. This is my period of growing up, and I'm glad that we are getting more and more positive comments from many coaches or many different parts of Indian football, saying that it's a great thing because many youngsters are developing, because tomorrow that's the future of the club, that's the future of young national team. Rahul himself, he passed through that young national teams, and today it gives him possibility to be part of a senior national team. This is how it goes. And as a club, imagine if we didn't have that, and you get all these injured players. So, but luckily we were thinking about saying, boys, don't worry about this period or whatever it is. It's a part of your growing up. Try to give them every day new hints, information that they can improve. And actually comparing them 2 years ago and now, it's a huge difference, and we're happy about that.
What do you say about tomorrow's match against FCG?
yeah, we are facing one of the best teams of the league. I think that they're finding themselves now in one a less good period. Again, they are suffering again. Some national team players issues, some injuries, Super Cup, the same. And actually every team in every country all around the world during the season, you get one period where you are, decreasing the level or you lose momentum all around the world. So I think tomorrow's game will be, from our side. Again, the opponents you cannot control, but from outside, we have to get back to that fighting spirit, great mentality on the pitch, fighting for each other, getting intensity game, running a lot and trying to overcome the opponents the way we were doing in a period from December, like from start till December. So we showed that many times that we could beat great teams home and away. In the previous season as well, I think it was the first victory against Goa in a long time at home, I think. So, yeah, it's a great challenge. We like to play good games, and I hope that the boys tomorrow, they will show that passion, heart, mentality, character back on the pitch to fight for the logo, for the fans, and having pleasure playing at home. Yeah.
So the gap between 1 and 5, 31 points at the top, and we are 26th, 5th at the second. And go ahead of you is just 2 points. So you think it's not much of a problem, like just the 5 points separating the 1 and 5? Like.
Yeah, because look, again, one victory and a positive line can change everything. What I see now, especially from December, since everybody get the break with the Asian Cup, and maybe you agree with that, maybe not. So all the teams who have sent players to national team in Asian Cup, since we started with ISL, these teams suffer because all the players who were playing in national team, they were exhausted after Asian Cup. There was a physical and mental, disappointment. They were coming back. They need to get back in a shape of ISL, of a rhythm of ISL, and some of those teams, they are suffering. Okay. And it's a normal part. After all big tournaments, this is like that. This is why the big tournaments, like now in a couple of months, there will be Euro in Europe, but it always comes between 2 seasons, never in the middle. There was the experiment, when was the World Cup? Last year, 2 years ago, in Qatar. So, and it was in the middle of the season. Many players whose national teams reached the last level of World Cup, they were suffering till the end of the season, later in Europe or wherever it was, okay? Because the big tournament always gets you into that impact. So now we see that the level of football in ISL after the Asian Cup decreased a little bit. With intensity, with quality, there are many games that they are not on the level like it was before. Actually, it means that many teams, like us, we found ourselves now in the period like it's start of the season. And you are in a period of a pre-season, so you are rebuilding up, and that's why now it's feeling like you don't see quality in certain things. Like last game in Chennai we played, we lost. Arriving at the stadium in pitch, you see like, okay, the quality they're saying, yeah, but a couple of days ago it was the concert, and then you cannot, hope to play a good football. And these kind of things, I think that the teams, many teams now, with national team players in Asian Cup, they were starting rebuilding, and actually the teams who are the most consistent now and playing the most quality are the teams who didn't have national team players in Asia Cup, which heads off to Jamshedpur, Northeast, Odisha. These guys without national team players, they kept consistency, they kept positive results, and actually that's why they are now on the level of, with all quality they have, they're winning games. Many teams with national team players, they are now again rebuilding and trying to get back in a shape, which maybe can be good later in the last phase of competition when we arrive, maybe end March or beginning April, and maybe for the playoffs, so who knows. That's why, because with the Asian Cup and this Super Cup, the competition was cut on 2, and many teams were get back to 0, my opinion.
Hi coach, we have been hearing a lot of unpleasant news like back-to-back defeats and injuries. Hope you have something happy news to share with us.
About?
about your injury updates. Some are back, I think.
Gibson is back. He was playing last 2 games. For him, is also now struggling a little bit because after 4.5 months, you are getting back in a playing rhythm. He needs to get that playing time. Freddy, he's also back in a rhythm playing, but with the games and everything, he will need a little bit more time. So we hope to get in the first half of March. We hope to get Sotirio and Luna getting back to Kochi and starting practicing a little with the team. So them to see back on the pitch till the end, doubtful, no chance. Pepra, also he's out till the end of the season. Sachin now is out till the end of the season. Did I miss anyone now? Ivan till the end of the season he's out. These 5 guys, certainly not. Then the other guys, Vibin is okay. So Vibin is okay. We could expect to see him playing from tomorrow. We are happy to see him back after his injury against Mumbai, I think Christmas Eve. So it's also kind of 2 months. And actually we hope to see him back tomorrow. So this is it. For all the others, we'll see the youngsters. Yeah. Yeah, he's already now, I think, 10 days, something like that, with the team, training, practicing, so he's with the team. He's ready to play. So now we'll see today in the training if he gets minutes and how we're going to manage that. So we're happy to have him back.
Coach Karanjit, we all know that he's a very good goalkeeper. He was the goalkeeper for Chennai when they won the trophy. So in the absence of Sachin, do you think he can meet our expectations? Can he perform well? As a coach, how do you evaluate or analyze his performance, and how do you compare it with Sachin?
I have to say about Karanjit, he's a great professional, great guy, great human being, and to respond in Chennai on that way, getting from the bench without warming up and being available and playing that kind of game, it's a great example. So we have full confidence in him, 100%. He's a guy with experience, goalkeeper who is 100% committed to his professional life. We're so happy to have him. I remember he's now also 2 years with us. So of course we believe in him. Of course, he's there. He has experience to play. He knows what does it mean playing ISL game, especially after a long period without games. Yeah, he's there to perform, to play. He knows the job.
Thank you, coach. And Rahul, all the best for the game from all of us.
Thank you.
My question is to the coach. In the last game, home game against Punjab, one of your statements, which went viral, actually has created negative perceptions among the fans.
Okay.
It was like you were calling the Super Cup idiotic. So especially the fans have got a negative perceptions because it also carried a continental spot. Can you just respond?
Yeah. When you see at the format, how these cups are organized, even last year, after the season, okay, now in the middle of the season. So all the coaches and everybody in football, we are calling up and advising, saying, why can't we start the season and you start playing 1-2 games in ISL, then you play 1 cup game, 1-2 games in ISL, 1 cup game. And actually it will give you the possibility, first, that all the players are in a shape, all the players can play the games, you can rotate and they will be ready for both competitions. You will have all players available and the teams can compete with full squad. So for us, example of last year, we finished the season and we say we have now Super Cup it was in Kerala. Okay, so then again we cannot find accommodation in Calicut. So the feeling, traveling 1 day before the game, 8 hours by bus to reach Calicut, sleep over, play the game, finish the game, you don't have hotel to sleep, 8 hours by bus back to Kochi. Okay, you come to Kochi, you recover, you are tired, everything, you recover 1 day, the day after, you get the breakfast, you drive 8 hours to Calicut to play the game. Second game, you are dead man walking. You cannot walk on the pitch. So already the conditions in advance are not favorable. So you cannot compete on a maximum level. Then immediately after the season, with some issues or whatever, some of the players, they left. Okay? Then at the end of the season, some clubs, they already won AFC spot, whatever it is. So already before starting AFC Super Cup, they say, we don't need to play because we already won. So for us, it doesn't matter. So immediately you get irregularity in the cup itself, right? So it's not the same for others. So then, if you implement it also in the middle of the season, like it was now, and in few days of the departure, you get a phone call saying, sorry, we cannot provide you the hotel accommodation, sorry, we cannot provide you the training grounds, and you have to spend 18 days there, then you ask yourself, but how can you perform? Then the federation, because many teams were raising concerns saying, but we cannot play Super Cup with the full squad because our players are in the national team. So actually for many teams it's not the same. So you're not competing with 100%. And then the federation comes with a kind of compensating, think, okay, you can play with 6 foreigners. Yeah, but not everybody has 6 foreigners. Understand? So again, there are many irregularities that you cannot perform with full squad or 100%. And then as a coach in my position, I say, okay, now we have to go and play whatever tournament it is named. Not a full squad, no accommodation, no training grounds, and you have to fly between Kolkata and Bhubaneswar all the time. It's exhausting. So you cannot perform on the highest level. So then you ask yourself, why can't it be implemented within the season? You get everybody available, you get all the foreigners, you get all the possible conditions, and then organize the games like in a competition, home away. So that, because at the end, when you calculate, let's say the expenses, the money you expend for hotels, accommodations, for everything, for the flights, everything, at the end you get the same. But in this format, you get more possibility for the teams to play. You get home games, you get away games. You get importance for the fans. And sometimes if you go with 16 teams in one city where there are no accommodations, there are no fans, there are no quality, there are no everything, then the tournament itself becomes idiotic. I apologize for my word, but it becomes like that. And then the players themselves, they feel that. And they say, and they get injured. And that's why my disappointment about that was that maybe it could be more, let's say, better organized, where actually you will improve the teams more, the players, you will stay in shape, players will more enjoy, because the cup games, like Champions League, understand? 2-3 games in competition, Champions League game. 2-3 games competition, Super Cup game. Everybody's in a shape, everybody's concerned. Like that, if you organize it before the season, like Durand Cup, not many teams, they have foreigners, not many teams, they are ready. You go there, again, no conditions, no training conditions, nothing. You cannot perform. Many injuries happen in Durand Cup. With all due respect for organizers and everything. The same thing with Super Cup. If it's implemented somehow within the season, which they announce it will be from the next season, it would be better, my opinion. Because in many occasions when you get into situation of playing those cups like we had now in January, so what happened? Without proper conditions, without proper anything around it, so what we, at the end, our team from December, nice, let's say, level, we went back to zero, we went down, we get more injured players, and now we are in process, okay, rebuilding back again. So instead of cutting the season in two, you continue the great shape of all the teams and all the players. And instead of saying, let's play with 6 foreigners, I'd say, let's play with 3 foreigners. Let's play with 3 players under 23, Indian players. Like that you develop your Indian core players, and it could be of more quality, more for all teams motivation to play, instead of like it was before, with all due respect. So from my disappointment, that was kind of saying idiotic, okay? I apologize again, but it doesn't bring quality, and which affects you as a team, and it affects your shape and everything, that, your season can be destroyed due to that. That's why.
Coach, do you think the choice of venues for the Super Cup also needs to have a serious look at it? Like, because you said Bhubaneswar, you did not have proper training grounds, you did not offer training grounds, and
Yeah.
and Calicut also, the hotels was an issue. So do you think before the federation looks at a venue for the Super Cup, they should probably look at all these things before finalizing?
Absolutely. You know also what I think irregularity is about also, like you organize one short-term cup, like tournament of whatever, 17, 18, 20 days. So in those 20 days, one team will win, of course, and they get the FC spot. So then again, after that, they say, so why should we play ISL till the end? We already have a spot, so we don't care. You know, I think that the AIFF, who is the organizer, I think, of these cups, and ISL, you know, together trying to implement, because it's better for players and the clubs for development, to getting them all in a shape, and then you can rotate players. Everybody will get playing time. Understand? And I think that it should be taken into consideration, because not for the clubs itself, it's for the improvement of players and teams, that they stay on the longer term in a good shape. Hope it will happen. Hope they will find the formula, because it will help everybody to stay in a good shape on a longer term for training process, for everything. So